Boom! Welcome everyone to another LC podcast. My name's Jarrod. I have here with me Grayden over here in my screen and Erik over there in my screen as well.
Hey.
Welcome to our Sunday morning stream. How's everyone doing today?
Good. I got up early, made breakfast. Feeling good.
Yeah? Got good sleep?
I didn't get up early, didn't have breakfast, I just had coffee. I'm good.
Did you have a good sleep? Did everyone have a good sleep?
Yeah.
What about
Woke
you,
up to
Jarrod?
go pee, that kind of sucked, but fun stuff like that.
Oh,
I hate when you have to do that in the middle of the night.
Oh, I
It's just
know.
like, let me sleep. It's annoying.
It's always like playing with fire there, right? Like you need to drink water, but it's like, how close to bed am I going to drink this water? And when is that going to force me to get up and have to go to the bathroom?
I found lately, like, I'll get my water bottle and I'll chug like 3/4 of it, and that makes me get up at like just a little bit earlier than when my alarm goes off, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm up now. Like, it kind of forces my hand.
I've been doing that a lot. I'd say this year in general was just I'll get up and it'll be like 10 minutes before my alarm goes off. Or it'll be like 5 minutes before my alarm goes off. And I don't know, I just find that very crazy.
When it's only like 5 or 10 minutes, I honestly kind of prefer that, because then when you hear your alarm, you're like, well, I'm already up and I'm kind of feeling more awake already.
Yeah, instead of that like shock from your alarm, and then it's always worse. That's why it's like when you wake up on your own, even if you didn't sleep as long as you could have, when you wake up on your own and you don't have an alarm, you always feel more rested than if I woke up from my alarm and I slept longer. I always find that I'm more rested that way.
I've also noticed, because up until recently, I've lived in a basement all my life where it's really dark, and like I could sleep till like noon some days just because it's dark and quiet. But I got so much light now that I like get up with the sun. It's kind of weird.
You're coming into my life, Grayden. That's why summertime. I love wintertime because I usually end up getting more sleep because everything's darker for longer. It's like a catch-22, right? Because you can sleep longer, but the fact that on weekdays I still have to get up at my usual time that I'd usually get up, it's always harder because it's dark out, right? It's so much easier to get up early when the sun's out and you're like, oh, this is lovely. It's a nice, beautiful day.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In like peak summer where the sun's rising at like 5:30 in the morning, I won't be. But
oh man,
I get what you're saying.
That's just how I've always been. I love getting up with the sun.
No, I mean, I've done it. I've done it for 2.5 years at my old job. So,
Kind of speaking of the sun, I'm excited for all this snow to start melting. So every time I go outside, it's not like I'm being flashbanged. I hate it so much. My eyes are so sensitive. Even looking outside right now, I'm like, it's bright.
It's crazy. Like you talk about, because I say we've had a little more snow here because we went. Bobby and I have been going skiing right throughout the winter, and we went skiing yesterday, and it's crazy. Like deep in the mountains, there's a decent amount of snow. Like not a ton, but a decent amount. But on this side of this side of the Rockies in general, it's there's not a lot of snow on the mountains. Like there's hikes you can do that are usually not winter hikes that we've done in the summer before, and they're like highly like don't do these in the winter. It's dangerous because of all the snow, avalanche risk, and all that. And it's been totally fine. Like you can do it. There's ankle deep snow in some spots, and that's about it. So it's been really, it's a weird year. I feel like this has been a weird.
It's all them Chinooks.
Yeah.
We've had a lot like in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. But skiing was still good yesterday, so that was good.
Nice. That's tight.
We're probably gonna go next weekend too. I think. Finish it out. I get my free one.
I'm gonna segue just real quick. Do you have any video game news for us that we can use?
I have some video game news you can use. Not a lot, because the gaming world is, I don't know what they're doing, but they're in like a hiatus of
boring,
of not doing anything. There are new games that we can talk about though. There is Stronghold Warlords, which is a strategy game on PC coming out March 9th. It has the same font as World of Warcraft, so I wonder if it's from a similar group or a company they may be a part of. There's Apex Legends coming to Switch. It's called Stronghold Warlords. Apex Legends is coming to Switch on March 9th, which I think is pretty big. Yeah. Is it still free?
As long as it has cross progression, it's going to be free.
Yeah.
If it has cross progression, I'm all for it. If it doesn't, then that's going to be a huge bummer because I'm like level 140 in Apex.
Yeah, we played a decent amount of Apex.
Suck.
We played a decent amount of Apex Legends when it came out. Then there's Creta, which is a productivity editor on PC. It looks kind of like a building kind of game. It's like if you took, based on the images that I'm looking there, it looks like if you took Minecraft, took out the survival aspect entirely and just focused only on the building. That's what it would be. Doodle Devil Evolution is coming out on March 11th on all platforms.
Nice.
Monster Energy Supercross is coming out on all platforms, racing game. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is coming out on Switch, PS5, and Xbox, which is... I like Crash, so I'm interested to see how this one goes.
Wait, is that going to be like the Series X enhanced version? Because it's already out.
I believe it is, because they have it on PS5 here. They only say Xbox, but I'm pretty sure it's Series X, because it's already out on Xbox itself. So I'm assuming that's meaning Series X. And then the last game coming out this week is Pascal's Wager, which is a PC action RPG game.
Oh, Pascal.
For some reason, I thought that would be like a puzzle game.
So decent with the enhanced. I'm assuming enhanced version of Crash Bandicoot. So that'd be pretty cool. See what the changes they made to that on both consoles.
Probably look pretty.
Yeah. What doesn't look pretty, Erik, is Peter's voiced many a time how he hates the Xbox controller. He hates it. He despises it. It's a piece of shit, right? He does not like it. Microsoft has run into an issue that may not prove him entirely incorrect on what he was saying. They have run into an issue where certain buttons on their controller are not working, not because of a mechanical issue, because of a software issue inside the controller. So apparently they're looking into it to figure out a fix for this, as an update for the controller. But apparently people are losing the ability to use certain buttons, but the buttons aren't broken. So they've sent in, obviously I'm assuming based on the article, that they've sent their controllers into Microsoft. Microsoft has looked at them and the actual controller isn't malfunction. Like, it's still fine mechanically, but it's not functioning. So now they've run into an issue where they have certain buttons just randomly stop working on your controller. I haven't run into this myself with my Xbox Series X. I really haven't had any issues with mine, besides the SteelSeries headset that I had having issues. But that was a them issue. That was not an Xbox issue. That was them not having the proper software updates out for their headset. But besides that issue, I've had zero issues with my Xbox. It's been perfectly fine. It plays well, fast, all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of got a chuckle out of it because Peter has advocated against the controller since it was like imagined on a picture for him. He has hated the controller.
Does he hated the controller like for that long? I thought it was just the Series X and the lack of next gen technology.
Well, no, I'm talking about Series X controller, not anything else. Like, he hates the share button. He hates he hates it all.
I like the share button.
I do too. I've used it a few times where it's been super quick and useful instead of having to go into my menu and do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is a pain in the ass where you like go to press start or select and then you hit that button. You're like, well, there's a screenshot of the pause menu. Cool.
I've done that a few times. I've dropped it a few times and had like on my lap when I've been playing or something, or knock it over when I've had it resting on the armrest, and then it starts hitting and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you took like 4 screenshots. I was like, that's nice. You know, we'll leave those there. Maybe someone will comment on it and then we'll go from there. It's a story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've been having issues with it, which I kind of found interesting because people have been liking the PS5 controller, although it has had its issues with drifting, I guess, with the triggers being an issue now. But I feel like, what do you expect? The more complex a controller is, the more things that can go wrong with it, right? Like I feel like that's no surprise for most technology in general.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of had an issue lately with mine where the A button's kind of like sticking.
Yeah.
But like it still works. There's been a couple times in Dead by Daylight where I'm spamming A and it'll stick for a second. I'm like, I swear to God, if that's what kills me, I'm gonna be so mad.
But
it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that'd rattle me. I think that's it's just like, especially in games like that, like A button, that is gotta be one of the most, it has to be the most used button on the controller, period. Like every game, everything utilizes that button for a lot of things. It's usually an action button or something. So I feel like that's a bad button to have start to go on you.
That's a bad button.
I could probably just like clean it and it'll be fine. Or maybe it's part of the software issue. I don't know.
It could be.
We'll see.
They might they're pretty good, Microsoft, when it comes to like replacing things if it's within a certain time period too. So
yeah, I should put a support message out, see if I can get a replacement or something.
Or they can give you a solution for it, or maybe at least then they could say, hey, maybe it is part of the issue that is currently they're dealing with.
Yeah.
No, it's it's been crazy. It's been interesting for them because Microsoft has been riding this up and down. Like they just moved on to the next stage of acquiring Bethesda and ZeniMax, so that's good. Like it's making progress. They're slowly getting further and further with that. I think they said within this year they're gonna have full. They'll fully have bought it. Like the deal will be done, and Bethesda will belong to Microsoft, which will be interesting.
I thought it had happened, honestly.
Well, they pretty much have. Like, they're already planning games that are, from what I was reading, they're already planning games that are just Xbox for a period of time or something, and that's how they're kind of going about it. But the full deal, like all the in back of office stuff that isn't really important to anyone but the companies involved, that stuff's still working out a few things here and there. So
okay,
but it'll be, I don't know, it's been interesting for them because I'd argue, I know there's not really a console war anymore, but I'd argue they lost this year again.
Yeah, to me, I don't pay attention. I don't care.
Yeah, it just always seems like so many people like the PlayStation. Fair enough, though. It deserves it.
It's just the current lack of like Series X exclusive games, but I think we'll eventually get there. I don't know. To me, console wars are either irrelevant or just non-existent. Just don't really care.
I feel like Xbox focused more on community on launch, whereas I feel like PlayStation heavily focused just on exclusives. Because
I could agree with that.
I never played PS4 besides playing like Grayden's PS4 and playing when we did our boots and stuff like that, or playing it for recording sessions. But like when I had my PS3, I will say PlayStation Network was not great. Like it was okay. Like it worked. It did what it was supposed to do. But I always find like Xbox promotes such a community growth thing, whereas PlayStation kind of just focuses so on like the tailored towards an individual gamer. And I feel like that's you have these great exclusives, but I don't know. I play games to play with my friends for the most part. Like I play some games on my own, but most of the time I just enjoy hanging out with all you guys. So for me, I feel like community growth's more important, but I guess it really depends on the individual.
I can agree with that. Do you guys, speaking of community, hear about the new Dead by Daylight killer and all that?
No.
I love him.
Yeah, a lot of people love him. The article that I have here that I was just reading is everyone wants Dead by Daylight's new killer to step on them.
Oh God, is it like the lady?
I don't know if I agree with that. I want him to throw his knives in me.
Oh, he's another ranged unit, or ranged person.
The Trickster is a sexy K-pop star who loves murder more than he loves music.
I don't know if this is true. I think it might have been just what I heard in the video, that he's Yui's brother.
Oh,
apparently.
interesting.
So, I don't know. That's kind of cool. But I do really
chill.
like his design. I kind of like that they're going for, like, not a scary design, but just kind of, I don't know, it's just fun.
This is a quote from some guy on Twitter. I love the Trickster because the first time he winked at me, I knew he could murder me, and I would thank him for it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that's who this was. I saw a lot of the fan art for Dead by Daylight, but I never really paid attention to what it was relating to. I was like, oh, look, cool fan art for Dead by Daylight.
Wink.
He kind of reminds me of like a Wesker from Resident Evil kind of villain, where it's like, you know, he just that kind of obnoxious character that you'd run into that's just very cocky with their abilities and stuff like that. I feel like it'll be a fun killer to face. It also kind of reminds me of Legion. That's another killer it kind of reminds me of. A ranged Legion.
All I want...
To me, he's like a Yakuza character.
Yeah.
All I want is for him to have a similar feature as the Huntress, where you, like, she has her, like, nursery rhyme. I just want is him to get closer, just be like...
I need it to be K-pop.
Strike fear into those with your beats.
Or something, yeah. Just like some form of music or something.
That'd
They
be
changed
so
the
funny.
Clown's music to something more interesting
Oh,
instead of just the regular. Yeah, it's now kind of it's like this, you know, carnival music. It's spooky.
Mm.
You can definitely tell when the clown's around now.
I really like when they bring out their unique killers. Like whenever they're homebrew killers that the producers make. Because like even though I know the twins aren't the best killer in the world, it was such a cool concept. Like they definitely have something.
I love the twins. I don't know, like obviously I don't know the meta if they're good, but I like being up against them.
Well, like I said,
picking Victor.
The concept behind them was they hit it on the head. I guess people were just not happy with how the character played. I haven't played the twin. I've played against the twins, but I've never played them as a character of my own. I feel like it just takes more skill because you're handling two characters, not just one.
Probably just needs a buff as well, and then maybe they'll be a bit better.
Mm-hmm. They almost need it, so it's like he has an area radius kind of thing if he's not being controlled, where he'll alert.
He does.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, okay.
Good, everyone else.
Huh.
It's just you can easily hear him going like, so you can just run up and kick him. And then, you know, his surveying's gone.
Did they announce like all the abilities of the killer the trickster, or did they?
No.
He's in the playable test build or whatever it's called, so he must have all of his stuff available.
Is there any regular characters coming out with him on in the Dead by Daylight bundles? Did they announce that?
Not that I saw.
I really want them to bring out some more survivors, or bring out more skins for Detective Tapp, so I don't have to fucking buy skins. I'm so mad. And then of course Jack's like, "Oh, you should get Bill because he has this trick." And I was like, "Well, maybe I'll just switch to Bill as my character and get all the Detective Tapp perks." And then Bill has fucking nothing. So now it's just silly. It's just dumb. It's stupid. It always happens to me.
Get the perks you like, and then find that character that you really like their skins for.
See, I like Detective Tapp though. I might have to just buy one of his skins that is not his regular skins. As much as the Bloody Mess skin is kind of funny, because there is a lot of blood on his skin. Like, it is crazy.
I've been tempted to get like I think it's like the $18 Orixel pack, where you get, I think, about 2,200 of the premium currency. So then I could get like one pretty cool skin for a character, and then maybe get the battle pass this time. See how I do with that.
There's been some cool skins for, like, I've been playing some Killer, and I think I'm gonna stream some Killer on my other Twitch. I'm waiting to get a little bit higher because I feel like the matches that I'm facing right now are just will not be entertaining whatsoever, because they're just bad.
I mean, you could have that be a thing as like road to like level 1 killer or something.
That's true.
20-1.
Yeah, that's totally
It's like
true.
the gimmick.
So I have the perks for Ji Woon Hak is his name. There's Starstruck. Your unmatched showmanship dazzles all. Starstruck activates when you're carrying a survivor. Survivors within your terror radius suffer from the exposed status effect.
Oh, so you can't body block him anymore when he's carrying someone to the hook.
I mean, I'm sure you still could. He just knows where you are.
No. Exposed status means that if you get hit, you're down.
Oh, that's right.
Exposed status means it's a one hit and you're done. That's it.
Ah. Oh, that is rough then. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Hex Crowd Control. The Hex ensures the lesser than you are properly heard. The entity blocks a window for 10, 12, 14 seconds after the survivor performs a rush to vault through it.
Oh man, that's that'll be beneficial because the Killer Shack has been a notorious one for a lot of like really high end Dead by Daylight players.
Yeah, for the
for running them, right? But if you get rid of that window for 14 seconds, you pretty much void that entire area as like a good running area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the last one, No Way Out, that truly caught my eye. You're not just going to let anyone into the VIP room. For each of the survivors you manage to hook, No Way Out gains a token. When the last generator is repaired, the entity blocks both exit gates, switches for 8, 9, 10 seconds per token. For a maximum of up to 32, 36, or 40 seconds.
So if you really want to benefit from this killer, you want to play the long game. Like you really want to you want to push them. You want to almost let them get to that point just so you can get like the full type of your ability. That's pretty cool. That I could see a few of those being very meta for a lot of killers down the road. Mm-hmm. Not just
that
him.
Hex for sure.
Yeah, that Hex is crazy.
That Starstruck is pretty good as well.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Honestly, like it's just that sounds like a I feel I don't want to say it too early because it's not out yet, but I feel like this killer is going to be overpowered.
Well, that's what the playable test build's for. I'm sure anyone on the PC will let them know if they don't like it or he needs some improvements.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing the Dead by Daylight community is good at, it is ripping the producers apart when they make a mistake.
They are vocal, that is for sure.
His weapon is a customized aluminum bat with a sharp edge and iconic grip, which is like what are those knuckles called?
Brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
So I thought he threw knives.
Oh, he still has to have some sort of melee weapon.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
To bonk people.
Yeah, that's true.
Start the trial with 60 blades as his throwing weapon.
Holy shit.
While in the throw stage...
Yeah, you should watch some gameplay, Jarrod.
To throw a blade, to hold down the attack button to unleash a flurry of blades. Throwing a flurry of blades increases the control and throw rate while decreasing movement speed. The survivor's laceration meter increases each time they're hit by a blade. Once the meter is filled, 8 blade hits, they lose a health state, falling either to the injured or dying state.
I have an idea. The next thing they should do is implement cross-platform progression. Because the game's been out how long, and they've said for how long that they were going to implement I can't see it being that hard to implement cross-platform progression.
I don't know. It could be.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
As soon as they do it, though, I will get the game on the Switch, because, like, it'd be a really good Switch game, actually.
I have it on PC, right? Like, I have Dead by Daylight on PC. Because I think when you... Because you can download it from Microsoft Store, right?
Yeah.
But I'd like to... And I wouldn't mind playing it on PC, because I do like the quicker reaction time. Like, it'll be easier as a killer. I feel like, as a killer... If you're playing against people on PC, you're at a heavy disadvantage just because of how quickly they can react to you. And, you know, a Joy-Con is always a little bit slower to react than the mouse and keyboard is. I could always set up a mouse and keyboard on my Xbox, but I'm not going to do that. That's stupid.
No, loser.
That's not worth it. That's
Not a wannabe PC player.
No.
I like my controller. I'm happy with it.
I like controllers too, but I have wanted to try the PC because I know it's better. I know it's faster, but I just feel more comfortable with a controller.
Well, I will say on that game, I think I would feel more comfortable as a survivor with the controller. For the killers that I use, I think it'd be better for PC. But that's also another thing where it's like, maybe just get good at the game and then I don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
I've improved. I've been playing some killer matches. I obviously, because Erik and I have been we'll do like the odd killer match here and there when we're waiting for people to come join us on Dead by Daylight. But I've been doing a few other matches, and then I played a bunch. I got up to like rank 12 or something as a killer, and then for 2 seasons I didn't really play much besides like the odd game here and there. So now I'm back at like 18, 19 or something like that. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, I have seen that I have gotten better at the reaction when people do that stupid thing where they're running away from you, turn towards you quickly, and then try to like knock out your...
You're really good at that. Pisses me off.
I know, because I can't do it. Like, I try to do it when the killer's chasing me, and I can't do it. I'm not good at it. No. I either get away or I don't juke them out. Actually, there was that one match. I think Erik was there. I think you might have been there too, Grayden. We were facing the Huntress, and we were on the one swamp level of the ship. And I couldn't believe the jukes that I've never pulled jukes like that. And I was like, and I lost her because she got pissed off enough after a while. And I was like, that I've never had that with the Huntress. The Huntress always gets me almost every time.
Wasn't that also the game that like she chased you around for like 10 minutes or something while Jack was just waiting by? Because there was only like there was 2 generators left that were right beside each other, and you guys were running around that area. So he was just waiting by the hatch for you to get caught.
Yeah,
but you never did, and then he got caught immediately.
Yep, because she left me, and then he got caught, and then he got mad at me for.
Well, then she let you go, and he killed him.
It was awesome. Oh, that was a funny match. That was fucking hilarious.
Jack got upset in a long time. He left the party.
Oh man, it's always that game has a consistent theme. Whenever I do good in a match, whoever's with me, one person gets fucking irritated and pissed off. Whether I'm doing good as a killer or doing good as a survivor, it somehow hinders.
You're a sore winner.
It hinders someone else.
I just hate the fact that you can always find the hatch no matter what.
Actually, it's become a lot less. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be that every single match I would just walk upon the hatch just doing random shit. It hasn't been as good lately. I've done that maybe once or twice since, like, I'd say since November kind of deal. It's gotten a lot worse for me. I don't have that luck anymore. I have noticed that I think that it's not completely randomized where the hatch is, because there are like certain areas where it does tend to spawn a lot more frequently than others. Just on certain maps that I've started to notice.
Yeah.
But I like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, that's a good game. It's too bad it took us so long to jump into it. It'd been cool to start early.
Mm-hmm. I've been
watch it progress.
Yeah,
I got the chance to sit down and play some games yesterday for the first time in a long time, and I was going through my library like I don't know because I want to play the new Assassin's Creed, but I also want to wait for the new console so I can experience it in its full glory.
It's a very pretty game on the new console. It's a very pretty game on the current gen console.
It is, but I want more.
Yeah,
I was just scrolling through looking at all the shit I have to play. I think I want to try Call of Duty again, the Warzone, just because now I can keep up with the updates.
Well, I jump into some Warzone again.
Fun.
I want to try their zombies mode.
Do they have a zombies mode? I thought you had to have Cold War for the zombies mode.
No, it's like a Warzone zombies, where players turn into zombies and then you have to go after the survivors.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Me and some people have started playing Apex a bit more again, and that's actually been really fun. They now have it so it I think every hour or so the maps rotate. so that you're not on the same map every time, but like everyone is on the same map, like, so it'll go to Kings Canyon, the very first original one, and then it'll go to like this super cool new one where it's actually really pretty, and like you're like in the sky. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's like Elysium, the Matt Damon movie. It was sweet. And the game has so many more heroes to play as. I'm crazy with it.
I've been kind of itching to get back into like a Battle Royale-esque game. I haven't played one in quite a while. We've been doing a lot
Yeah, I was also thinking the other day, I couldn't tell you the last shooter I played, I don't think. Like, I went back and replayed the BioShock collection, like, 7 months ago or something, but that's the last, like, shooter I can remember playing.
The last time I played a shooter was with Erik and Peter, and we were recording it, and we were making fun of Peter's girlfriend that he was spray painting on a rooftop. And that video never came out because it got corrupt, and it was very sad because it was probably the funniest fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It was so funny. Like, I believe we made it to like the top 10, and for easily the first 30 minutes of that whole match, we were just sitting on the freaking rooftop memeing with Peter. And no one came after us. Nothing.
He's relaxing.
Oh god. We were all pretty good at Warzone. We won that match. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, we did win that match when Peter dropped from the sky and
alerted us where they were by landing in the middle of
That's how you do it.
Oh god. Just kind of, you reminded me there, Grayden, when you were talking about the new Assassin's Creed and wanting to play it on the new console. Just kind of speaking, I guess there is some news that I didn't mention yet. Ubisoft actually made a statement, and I mean, take it with a grain of salt, right? Because Ubisoft games, they're known for looking pretty. Their games do look pretty when they make games. Glitchy as fuck, but pretty.
Yeah, sometimes.
Now, they made a comment, apparently, even for them, the new open world Star Wars they're working on is supposed to be something way more intense than what they've ever done before. And that's a big statement, because I've played a lot of open world games, and I think Valhalla has to be one of the most just complete worlds. Like, it is so massive, but they built it in such a way that it feels like it's not too much. Like, it's this huge world, but it doesn't feel like it's too big. Even though, as I've said, I put too many hours into playing that game now. Like, I fully beat it now. I'm waiting for DLC to come out. I've done anything I can doing it. But no, the new Star Wars one, apparently it's supposed to be some unreal project they're working on. It's like, they said, they literally were like, it's a groundbreaking project for us here at Ubisoft. And I think that's a pretty big statement for a company like that, because they have made a lot of big games. Some not great, some really good. But I'm pretty excited for that, because if they do it correctly, I feel like an open world Star Wars would be awesome, right? It's just doing it correctly and seeing how they push you. Like, what are they going for? What kind of story they go for? Are they going to go for the typical one class kind of story where you're either a Jedi or a bounty hunter or something? Are they going to go with a kind of more of a BioWare approach to it, where it's like, choose what you want to be and there's different stories that you can do based on that, or what? So
I don't think you get to choose whether or not you become a Jedi. Like, it's like Jedi or Sith. Like, if you have the Force, you're one of the two. You're not going to be like, I'm going to be a bounty hunter with the Force.
No. Like, because you can be, like, what I'm saying is in BioWare's Star Wars, the Old Republic, you can pick a bounty hunter storyline. You're not Force sensitive. Oh. You're a bounty hunter. Or you can pick an Imperial, or you can pick a Republic soldier, or you can pick a something, right? Like, that's more what I mean. Like, are they going to make it so you can choose what kind of class you're going to go for? Like, is that what you're going to go do?
I thought you were talking like you're into the campaign a little bit, and then you get to make that decision, not like right off the bat.
It would be kind of cool if you were sensitive, because there are like bounty hunters in Star Wars history that have been sensitive to the Force. One ended up becoming a Sith, but was a bounty hunter and assassin to begin with. And it'd be cool if you could kind of like, you know, you had that option to go in this direction, or you could stay in the direction you're going, like kind of have that kind of choice instead of making a deliberate choice in the beginning. It'd be interesting. Either way, I find it very fascinating that they said that, because I feel like in a world where overhyping games has become a really big thing, and then the games being not quite what they were meant to be, or not ready to be what they were hyped up to be, I feel like that's a bold statement to make, because that you know,
yeah,
there's a lot of companies that have gotten shit on, and some, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like either it's a good thing or it's a really naive thing on Ubisoft's front to say something like that. But I don't know.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I was talking to Peter about it the other day, and I think at least it's going to be a pretty game. It's a Ubisoft game, so it's going to look pretty. I can be in awe of it when I play it. Whether the story's strong is a whole different ball game. I will say, Valhalla had a really good storyline, so I have faith in them.
I like Ubisoft. Like, they had a really big turd with the Assassin's Creed Paris, whatever fucking one that was.
Unity.
Like, that was fucking terrible. But most of their other games are really good. I really enjoy them.
Unity had a great concept. It just was pulled off very poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I would love to play an Assassin's Creed where we play together, but I'd like to play more than 2 missions where there's like 10 guys and there's 4 assassins, and it's just like, well, this is fucking stupid. Like,
yeah,
that's dumb.
Yeah, like it'd be cool if they just allowed you to invite people into the campaign you were playing. I think that'd be a neat concept.
You know what would be kind of neat, which would be hard to do, but kind of like a Dark Souls aspect to an Assassin's Creed, where like you can get invaded by like a Templar or something.
I was thinking like Dying Light Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that'd be good too.
Yeah, I
wouldn't mind to replay that game or play the DLC.
We're supposed to replay that game, Grayden, but
that's a good game.
But you haven't agreed to come play that with me, because you're the one that was like, we should play the new DLC, and I was like, well, we should play the first one first, because the second one's coming out at some point eventually.
It is, actually. When is that coming up? To the Google.
That's a good question.
I don't think they have a set release date.
Because that game was awesome. I think that had to be one of my favorite zombie games to play in a long time. It also was one of the few zombie games where it actually struck fear in me for the first time in a long time. Was that the first time you face those things at night, and you're weak as shit. Yeah. You like, I remember Grayden and I coming back on that first mission where you're coming back at night, and we were like panicking because we couldn't see them. All of a sudden, this thing was fucking beating the shit out of you, and you're just sitting there going, "What is happening to me right now?"
So, Dying Light 2, supposedly coming out May 25th.
Oh shit! All right, we can hope.
For play PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
I hope they have the E3 mode that was in the first one, where like when you're talking on the walkie-talkie, and then it goes like blue, and you can just like pan across the city, and it's like, you know, this is what they would show in an E3 trailer, is like them talking on the walkie-talkie and looking across the city, and then they put down the walkie-talkie and then start playing the mission. And that's their gameplay trailer. Every time it would do those walkie-talkie scenes, and I would be like, "Oh, E3 time!"
I think Grayden, I think that was the last co-op game we played through fully. Besides, like games we like replayed, like Halo and stuff. Like I'd say that's the last new co-op game we played together.
I probably have to agree with you on that. Let me scroll through the games list that I have, but
I love that. I think that is one of my favorite zombie games that has been released lately.
Gotta be one of the best ones.
Yeah, it's so unique. Like, it was such a unique concept to a franchise that was getting kind of beaten to death with the same idea over and over and over again. I mean, still is.
The parkour was done so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited to see with the new
Parkour.
technology what they're going to be able to do with that. I'm excited to see it. I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't tank and it's just like they had their success and then they just kind of gave up after that.
I hope I have my a new console by then.
I told you got to follow that. You got to follow BBY Gamer.
Yeah, I check it like every couple of days.
I would just put the notification on so it alerts you. Because they literally will they'll tell you, and within 10 minutes it's gone. So it's one of those things where if you want to get it, you have to have them alerting you. Otherwise, you're just going to have to wait until eventually they do have stock of them.
Yeah. Isn't there a shortage of computer chips in the world right now?
Certain ones. Not all of them. It's certain chips. There's a shortage of the brand new, like the CPUs, the 3080s and the 3070s, which are like the new NVIDIA high-end graphics card, card, but
GeForce or whatever.
Yeah, and then you have the AMD like 6500, which is their version of it essentially, and that's been pretty hard to come by. It's just because. Like, it's not that it's a shortage because there's a shortage of supplies. It's a shortage because they just, they can't produce it at the same rate with less people in the production facilities.
All right.
So it's one of those things where once like even the Xbox, it probably wouldn't have been in this state as long if COVID hadn't been a thing, right? Because then you would have had facilities working at 100% capacity. They would have been producing more Xboxes and stuff like that. It probably would still sell out pretty quickly, but it probably wouldn't be as hard to acquire one.
Yeah.
So I'd say coming in the summer, because the US is opening up quite a bit, which, I mean, whatever your stance is beside the point on that. They're opening up quite a bit, so you could see an influx in a lot of products because a lot of products are from down there. So you could start to see quite a big push towards new products coming up again. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the summertime, Grayden, you could probably come across an Xbox relatively within reason. Same with the PlayStation. Like I don't see why not. Like I see less demand now. Like it used to be when you were I follow some site supplier websites just for other things, not just for Xbox, but they do mention consoles. And I don't see as many times because they always send out a tweet. They're like, how many people are still looking for this or whatever thing they're currently trying to get people to find. Believe it or not, Jordans are a very popular thing that are hard to come by. Like certain kinds of Jordans people are trying to buy. Oh, yeah. It's always funny because it's like all these technical things. It's like, oh, here's this, I don't know, here's this graphics card, here's this CPU, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, do you want this kind of Jordans? And I was like, what a weird thing to all of a sudden pop up on this thing. It just seems so out of place. But
yeah, shoes are huge.
But
if you ever watch, there's on Disney Plus, there's that Jeff Goldblum show. I forget what it's called, but it's just like following him, and he does an episode where he just like checks out the sneaker market or like the shoe market. And there's like people who have $150,000 shoes and like all this crazy shit. It's like, oh my God, this is far bigger than I ever knew. And of course, you have Jeff Goldblum being like, oh no, doing his Jeff Goldblum-ness the whole time. So it's wonderful. I suggest checking that out. Just for learning more about the shoe market.
But yeah, no, it's things are in demand, but they're lessening. You'll see things turn around here. It's like just one thing. I don't want to get too political or anything like that, but it's crazy already that the vaccines are at the level where like my parents can get them now, starting in the next phase. They can book their appointments soon, which is just crazy to me, right? Because it felt like only last month that it was only the people who were like elderly or extreme high risk population. So it's crazy how fast things are progressing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the world this year going forward.
Mm-hmm. I just did a quick Google search because I was curious. How much do you think the most expensive pair of shoes are in the world?
$500,000.
$2 million.
The diamond shoes by Jada Dubai X Passion Diamond cost $17 million. There's 240 diamonds on a pair of stilettos.
That wouldn't even be worth stealing, because who are you gonna sell that to after you stole it?
He just popped all 240 diamonds off the shoe and throw the shoe away, and you have a pile of diamonds.
I would laugh if it was all
Like
based
stealing-
on brand name, and it was just like, here's 17 million for the
priceless
name.
art. Like, if you try and sell it, the person getting it is just gonna be like, "Hey, I got this dude's selling me like the Mona Lisa or some shit. You should probably." I think he stole it.
Mm-hmm. I think you could probably find some private collectors who'd be like, I have.
Well, there's also the black market and stuff like that. Like there is shady places you can sell shit that is stolen. I'm sure. I haven't stolen anything and tried to sell it, so I'm only making that assumption.
You've stolen hearts.
But wow. But like, I this is completely kind of off tangent. But you brought up art, Eric, and the other day I remember something pissed me off the other day. So I was watching Iron Man, okay, and I never really noticed this one part in Iron Man where Pepper was going to hang up a new photo. He hung up a picture of Iron Man, and she's like, "No, we're gonna take this down." And we're gonna put up this other fucking piece of art. And I forget who the artist was. I don't remember. But it was literally a black line on a white canvas. And I was sitting there to buy, and I don't know what it was that night, but I was just like, this is fucking dumb. That piece of art there, she said it was worth over like $2 million, and it's a goddamn line on a white canvas.
Yep.
How is that art? How is that? Explain to me how this is art.
I don't know if it's art or more so the name. I've always said, given the people that we know, because I mean, growing up, we lived in a pretty nice part of town, and we know some pretty high-profile people. I always thought if I could just slap some shit on a canvas and just get them to buy it to build up my name, I could pay them back and then just sell a bunch of garbage to people who think that I'm great because my name is out there and highly desired by the fucking wealthy.
It is.
You could have been huge, Grayden. You could have been huge.
You missed out on your opportunity.
Yep.
There's no time like the present. All you got to do, Grayden, they have a vertical line on a white canvas, but you know what they don't have? A diagonal line on a canvas. Shit. Yeah.
I was thinking horizontal.
No.
Yeah. So was I. You already blew my mind.
I knew. It's all about getting the unexpected. You don't want people to expect what you're going to say.
I don't know. Do you hang it like horizontally or vertically,
Eric?
or do you also hang it at an angle?
My God. 2 lines and hang it at an angle with a diagonal line and a different line?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is this artception? Is this what art is?
Bring tears to my eye.
It's so dumb. It's like, because like, how many times do you see someone who's a phenomenal artist? Like, our friend Alana's a phenomenal, like, for when it comes to her art, like, her art style is really nice. And I would pay more money for what she does versus what that line on a canvas was meant to be.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Even to an extent, I can somewhat understand that. Like, it's stupid, but, like, it's still a painting, It's modern art that pisses me off. It's like, oh, hey, look at the banana peel on the ground that's worth $200,000. Fuck right off. That's a fucking banana peel. You see that in Mario. It's not art.
This reminds me of, like, I think Banksy did it, where, like, they had one of his pieces of art going on sale, and, like, it sold for a shit ton of money, and then as soon as it sold, the frame that he had created made it so it just shredded the painting.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as it was done.
That.
So it was just like, oh, okay, it's gone.
That also reminds me of the...
Hell yeah.
There was a modern art exhibit somewhere in the world, I forget, and some expensive, $1 million piece, and this like pile of fucking scrapyard junk was in the middle of the room, and then overnight the janitor came through and cleaned it up because they thought it was garbage.
Fired.
The funny thing is like most people, like general population, would have laughed at that. They would have been like, "Yeah, I probably would think the same thing." And then there's like the higher elite class of people that would be like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Drop to their
Well,
knees.
I'm sure even the artist, like, no matter what you think, he probably put effort into it at least, or he or she. So they were just like, "What? They what?" They just threw it out. The trash is just gone. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. I hunted for a year for that specific plastic bag.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The one Katy Perry sang about.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know if I'm just like not cultured or I don't get it.
That's it.
I just think it's like it's totally a status thing. It's like I have this one thing that no one else has kind of thing, right? Like it's not it isn't even necessarily about the art as it is about the status that the person in views they have gained by having that art.
No. Well, it's just like I brought it up a couple times. The $1,000 app that was developed doesn't do anything, but it costs $1,000. It's just bragging rights.
So stupid.
I was gonna say it's like the current Pokemon card phase, where like you get one of those shiny Charizards or whatever. I'm not familiar with it, so I don't know what it's called. But like they sell on eBay for $1,000, but they're not that uncommon to get. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of like, I have this and it's a collectible and people want it. It's not like it's actually that rare or like overly beautiful. It's just a matter of the status of having it.
Hollow Charizard or something.
Hollow EX shiny Charizard, I think.
Yeah. And it was like a big thing where it's like, oh, this is super popular, but what happened is it used to be a rare item. It used to be that it was one of the rarest cards to collect in the game. And then recently Pokemon started to the trading card game group started to remake them. So now there's just a ton that have been thrown into circulation. So there was one, I think, last year that sold for like $100,000 or something, one of those cards. But now, like, yes, they're still selling for a lot because of like the reputation they had prior to them being more common was just ridiculous.
I mean, you can always tell with if it's an original or reprint, though, because it has
100%.
On the 1999 or 1996, whenever they were printed.
Yeah, like the original ones are still.
A few that were from then.
Yeah, I was looking at mine. I'd be curious what some of them are worth because I have some of those original ones that pop in and out. I don't think they'd be worth a ton because it's not like any of them are super high Pokemon, but
yeah, I'm the same.
I don't know. I always like collecting. I enjoyed collecting cards. I collected more Yu-Gi-Oh cards than I did Pokemon cards, and I think I should have done the reverse because Yu-Gi-Oh had its time, but a lot of their cards don't sell for a ton just because the game's value in general over the years has kind of decreased. It was a huge phase there, whereas Pokemon has just continued to grow and grow and grow. So
especially like this year.
Yeah, this year with them, with a lot of streamers doing those.
Get them.
Yeah.
They sell out instantly and people are scalping them, or like I've heard lots of stories. People will go to Walmart and like see like to get a pack of Pokemon cards, just to get one, you know, like a normal hobbyist would. And then there's a person grabbing them with like 8 in their arms, and the person's like, Can I have one, please? And the person's like, no, buy it off eBay, asshole. It's like, cool, ruin the hobby for everyone else. Awesome.
They've been having a lot of issues too, where people have been opening them and then resealing the card packs and taking out any cards that were of value before reselling the card packs. They've had a huge issue with that on Amazon too, because Amazon you can go buy Pokemon cards off there, and a lot of the time they'll be resealed packs. People have been reporting them to Amazon and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's tough because it's like
special place in hell for people to do that.
Especially in a world like what we're dealing with now, where it's like a lot of people are isolating, and some people just don't want to go buy things from out. They don't want to go to the store. They don't want to do that. They want to buy it online. There's not really a very reliable source to buy a lot of those things from online because of that now, with people doing a lot of that shit. Like I originally was going to be like, I was going to do a thing where, you know, once a month I'd spend $4 and get a pack cuz I like to have those collector's things. That's the one kind of collecting item I do, is hockey cards and Pokemon cards occasionally. And I'll buy like a pack once every month or 2 months here and there. As of like last year I started doing it again. And like I was like, oh, I'll go check online to see if there's any good ones, because then you can just kind of keep it. But there is zero reliable online sites. Like there's not a single one that doesn't have at least one person who has said these packs have been resealed, not standard. And Pokemon themselves don't sell it on their website, so you have to get it from a third party.
You would think retailer. They should. Like, that's a huge market they're missing out on.
Well, they just sell it to the companies, right? That's all they're doing, is they sell it to the companies because they can drive the price up on companies by making it competition, and then it's smart on their part. It's just shitty for the consumer because you can't get them. If you were getting them straight from Pokemon, like, you'd be good to go.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of talk lately in the UK and a little bit here in Canada about scalping laws. I haven't done too much research into it, but I'm wondering how far that's gonna go into, because right now they're focusing on electronics more than anything. But I wonder if it would like eventually trickle down to like trading cards and I don't know, just other things like that.
It's crazy because the world has become a scalping market. Like, consoles were a big thing. Like, I think the big thing that turned the UK was that the PS5 scalping was getting out of control and people were buying a ton of them. So the UK made it illegal to resell the console for a period of time there. And now I think there's a fine if you're reselling it for higher than what it's worth on market or something like that. I forget exactly the details of it, but there's a lot of things right now that are going through that. Like I think I've mentioned this before with like fitness equipment, for example. Like a dumbbell, when I bought mine, was $1.50 per pound, or maybe even $1 per pound, depending on where you went. So if you got two 45-pound dumbbells, you'd be paying $90 for it, maybe $100 if it was $1.50 roughly. So reasonable, right? Whereas now, there are people that are selling $15-pound dumbbells for like $150 to $200. And people are buying them because they're, you get pushed to a certain limit and then you'll buy them. And it's the same with the consoles. Like, some of those people were selling Xboxes and PlayStations for fucking $1,000 to $1,200. And I was like, it's unfortunate because there's people out there that are going to get it because they want, they want to get it for their kids, or they want to get it for someone else or themselves, and there's no other way to get it. And it's just so shitty. Like, I understand that people are trying to get money, but I just feel like, where's your decency?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't have to. There's better ways to go about it, but
listen, Jerry, you can't afford to have decency and a heart and kindness in the world when you have to make money.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Right? If you're in it for you and you want to make some fucking serious dough, you got to step on little kid's fingers was reaching for his Poké cards.
It used to be that if you bought something and you were trying to resell it, you'd have to eat some money on it just to sell it. Right? Like, it used to be that way where you couldn't, like, you made a mistake. You bought something you didn't mean to buy, or you got duplicates, then you try to sell it, and it's like, well, I guess I'll either take this to EB Games and trade it in for 10% of what I paid for it, or I'll take it to, or I'll try to sell it online for like a couple dollars less than what I paid for it. Whereas nowadays it's like, oh no, I bought this, it's fucking $200 more for you than it was for me. It's so stupid. I bought this. But
Jared, just real quick, going back to Pokemon cards, I put I don't know how reliable it would be. I sent you just a private message it's for the Pokemon Center. It seems to be like the official
Pokemon
site where you can get where you can get like cards and stuff.
It did look pretty official. I was looking at that the other day. There's another one called like the Pokemart.com or something like that. That's a guy who is an avid collector and sells them, but at the same time, he's an avid collector and sells them. So I don't know if I trust an avid collector to, not do what the big issue is, where you unseal boxes just to see if they have the cards you need, and then reseal them, kind of deal. They had it got so bad. I'll look into it more, Eric, because I have been interested to look into that. I know it was high in demand. Like, they were always sold out on the Pokemon Center. But there was other issues where people were literally opening them. This is how blatantly obvious it was that they'd been tampered with. They'd open the pack, and the packs are supposed to come with a certain amount of cards. Like, they all come with the same amount of cards. I think it's like 8 or something. One being like a trainer card or something that you get in the pack. And they'd all of a sudden have like 5 cards in their Pokemon pack as opposed to 8. And then they were just like, what's this?
Cool.
So,
you little thief.
Yeah, people are bad. People are mean.
Bullies.
But, boys, we have done it.
On that high note.
On that high note of positivity, that people are scum of the earth. The podcast is over. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. We had quite a few. We had a pretty good diversity of topics. It was really good.
About art?
Art. Yeah. We are artistic now.
Video games? Yeah. We're a high art podcast.
Mm-hmm. We're expensive art. It costs a whole $0 to watch our art.
You know what might be fun?
Can't you tell by the posters on my wall? High art.
Eric, I hate to break it to you, but there's less things on Grayden's canvas. Thus, it is objectively more artistic.
Oh yeah.
Grayden's wall, just like those 2 sockets there, those are art.
Oh my gosh, Grayden, how much you must have paid arm and a leg for those?
Well, they're actually faux sockets. They're actually just there for the artistic value.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Well, if you want to see, if you want to see more artistic value, you can check us out on Thursdays, where we do our variety streams and our Call of Cthulhu. This week is a variety stream, so check that out. Should be doing some games with the gents. Mm-hmm. And then our podcast is on Sunday.
Fair Share.
Yes, check out Fair Share. We put it on YouTube. There's a few episodes up now. And the other thing is, we have a surprise coming on Tuesdays, so tune in Tuesday evening for a surprise. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. See you guys later.
Go Tuesday.